Welcome back to another episode of Marvel's Pack Fresh podcast with Sketchcard Hive, Spidey09, and Elusive Collectibles, and myself, Gingerman Cards. And today's episode is going to be a little bit of something, a little bit different. And Elusive, let's go.
Yeah, let's talk about what's on everybody's mind, which is the new Spider-Man trailer, right?
Yes. Oh gosh,
Well,
I'm so excited.
I think we should start with Spidey on this one. It's only right. Spidey, what do you think about
he's only glowing a few shades of color because he's so excited.
Yeah, I'm super excited, guys, to see that trailer, to see the Easter eggs that they gave us, the villains, the Fox villains at that. And that the first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire came out for me in 2002, which was my senior year of high school. And so, that's a big moment for me to be able to see those characters and see Dr. Octopus show up. And so obviously we're not giving spoilers. This is in the trailer. And if you don't like watching trailers, I apologize. But then to watch the the Goblin bomb roll out, that was super awesome. Very excited about that.
Hello, Peter.
Hello, Peter.
Oh my God.
Definitely has a Sinister Six vibe, which is pretty interesting that they could use the multiverse to build that quickly in continuity without having to build, each villain. They could reach back in time to help establish that pretty easily. Thought that was
I think
cool.
it was really clever because honestly, the idea here is that so much of this is economical, right? Like you have all these villains already have all their movies. Everything's on Disney Plus. Why not just use the characters you already have? I mean, the Sinister Six is basically already built into the multiverse, like you said. It makes total sense. I mean, I remember, my first experience of seeing superheroes on the big screen was seeing Spider-Man trailer. Like the original Spider-Man trailer, Tobey Maguire, like Twin Towers, the spider web in the middle where the helicopter gets caught, and the you know what I mean? You don't see Spidey reveal until you see the eye, and I was just like, yeah! And I was losing my mind. I remember losing my mind, being so excited.
Well, the other real clever thing about this is that it allows Disney to explain Fox.
Yes.
Without having to just destroy it like it never happened.
I think that's better. Because, you're right. Like, I know, I teach and I know a lot of my students, Spider-Man, like there's some of their Spider-Mans were Andrew Garfield, right? You know what I mean? Like it was there's people out there that have different Spider-Mans they grew up with. They're generational Spider-Man. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of nostalgia there for a lot of people.
Well, hey, real quick, because we talk Marvel trading cards and Spider-Man is Marvel. That's what we're talking about this trailer. But did you guys see that the Spider-Man trailer has already had more viewers?
Yeah, I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good. No, you're good.
But it just speaks to the popularity of Spider-Man. It's insane.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy. Like it was 280 million or something like that for Endgame, and this was already at 350 or 360 last I checked. Yeah,
nuts.
That's insane.
Absolutely nuts.
So do we think it's gonna, when the movie comes out, is it gonna break Endgame in terms of revenue?
I would imagine it has to at this point with that amount of hype. Like I'd be surprised. I mean, the issue there is that so much has changed since Endgame and now, especially with the pandemic.
That's
distribution. So I think there has to be a different measurement of success for movies. For a long time, it's always been how many tickets are being purchased, right? But we all know that that's an unfair advantage because most theaters have over 70% of their theaters actually being occupied by very specific companies like Disney. You know what I mean? So the numbers are always kind of a little tricky. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's going to have to be a different way to measuring that. But them already measuring it with the trailer and already understanding that the trailers had more views already, it just means a lot of really good things for us in this community and for fans like us. It's just really exciting.
Yeah.
Big indicator.
Is it just me or unless I first saw the trailer and it was a fan trailer, I could be wrong, but there was a scene where I saw Doctor Strange in the trailer and what seemed to be like Daredevil next to him.
Yeah, so I've seen.
Right, you
stuff
saw
like
that?
this.
Yeah,
I've
I
seen,
was like, what's going on?
I've
with
seen
that?
so many YouTube clips like Easter
Oh,
eggs and
okay.
who's doing
Yeah,
what. I'm
yeah.
sure
Oh,
you
I
know
haven't seen that. I mean,
There's
we
a
know it's
bunch
coming.
of crazy stuff.
We
Ninety
know Matt
percent
Murdock's coming.
chance, apparently.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh,
And
that's-
Netflix Matt Murdock, right? Right,
Yeah.
Spidey?
Yeah, I
so
think
you're
he's
telling me
been
there's a
cast.
chance?
Yeah, I think it's a good chance.
Nice, that would be crazy.
There has to be. I mean, it makes sense. Disney did acquire the Netflix characters, right, Spidey? Is that what I heard?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Netflix no longer holds the rights to Daredevil.
What do they not
That's
own?
why they just stopped the seasons. That's why they didn't finish it.
That's right. That's what I heard.
Because they own what? Star Wars. They own Marvel, and they also own the UFC. By the way.
Oh, I didn't know that.
What?
Do they?
Yeah, Disney owns the UFC. Yeah.
Well, if you look
Wow.
at how much money we give them, they own us too. I'm going to go to work next week to give them my money.
I just have to drop by Disney's headquarters, just drop off a check. I'll be right back.
Yeah, if they could, pay our paychecks in trading cards. That's fine.
Yeah.
As long as they're
And
numbers.
some food.
Yeah, some.
Or
Yeah.
Like if there was a pie chart, it was just enough so I could lose a lot of weight without starving to death, and the rest
Right.
can be cards.
Or a house made of cards. A house of cards.
See, there you
nailed it.
go. That's a dangerous man right there. That's dangerous right there.
My
You
question.
got your coffee next to you, Spidey? Again?
His morning brew.
This morning brew.
So my question
Superhero
is,
view.
how does this Spider-Man movie, and I always think about the movies and the series, how does it impact cards, and what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Who wants to attack this?
Yeah,
one?
I
he
know,
was
right?
far
So
away.
I think it impacts a
Right.
lot. I mean, we can be honest. Like, we've been seeing a strange thing happen with cards in that a lot of cards are MCU, right? That have come out. Black Diamond MCU cards. That did extremely well. Better than I think a lot of people had hoped, and prices are very stable. So a lot of people are fully invested into that hobby. But I do think there is overlap where they're looking at publishing art, which is the comic art usage stuff. They call it publishing art. You can see that in like some of the sell sheets and a set, very special sets that are coming out that we're going to talk about soon. But I definitely think that this is taking us further and further into cards, and this is bigger and bigger reasons. Like, I would not be surprised if an MCU movie comes out within this year or next year, and we see a pack of cards being part of the promo. Like, I would not be surprised to see that happen.
Isn't that crazy on that point? And when we did our What If episode, we kind of predicted a couple of these things, and this is before the Fanatics thing was announced as well.
Yeah.
Just want to throw that out there.
Fresh.
Well, and that's when I'll be thrown out of the theater because I'm going to like stand up there and say, "Hey, I'll buy all your packs." Hey, everybody.
Spidey's going to walk in before it goes on. Okay, can you shut off the projector? Sorry, 1 second. All right, everybody.
I'll buy your
Let's
popcorn
talk.
for your pack of cards. Like, that's not good.
Oh.
That's not good math. Popcorn's expensive. Never mind.
Popcorn's expensive. There's this guy who overpaid for all these cards with popcorn. It's so weird. So,
How much was that card worth? 8 boxes of popcorn.
oh my God. Are you in debt?
Yes, theater popcorn.
That's awesome, dude.
I love it.
It's
Oh,
$100
yeah.
to
What's
take
your
a family of 4 to the theater.
It is. It's
Yeah.
expensive. It's
Mhm.
expensive. Yeah.
That's probably one of the only positive things to this whole talk about box office sales. The good thing is with this whole streaming thing on Disney Plus, same what they did with the Black Widow. I'm sure they'll do that with Spider-Man. So you have the opportunity to stay home with your family, and for either $19.99 or $29.99, whatever it is. To your point, spending $30. If you're a family of 5 or 6, that's probably going to be a lot more cost effective than you going to the
It
theater.
is.
And when you add up, especially when you add up concessions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
More
For me,
packs, though.
Yeah, I'd have to watch it in the movie.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'm one of those too.
Oh,
IMAX, right?
I want to see it. I
You're like,
definitely want to see it.
"Wow."
Oh, my God.
You
I've
can't-
never
I want to
been in
watch that
IMAX
trailer in an IMAX. I've
Yeah.
never been in IMAX either. I want to watch that trailer in that kind of like that. I mean, I think my favorite thing about the trailer before we go to cards had to be the soundscape when you hear the different like villains on the bridge, like during the end, we hear like the cackle of the goblin. I mean, just like that was just such a great reveal, man. Such a great reveal. I can only imagine what it's going to look like in theaters.
I wonder what made him release the trailer, because remember one of the guys announced that they weren't going to release any trailer, that they wanted everybody to
I can
experience
tell
at the
you,
cinemas.
it got leaked.
Ooh,
It got leaked.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, and it got retweeted and reshared pretty quickly, and they were like, let's just reveal.
Yeah, that's
I think that was smart. Avoid that X-Men Origins kind of thing that happened.
Oh, what is that floating around as well? Have you guys seen that? The whole Wolverine little briefcase, his costume in a briefcase, that's been floating around as well. It's like, I don't know.
Was
if that's
that
from
end credit scene?
Yeah, it is, right?
That was a credit scene, right?
Oh,
or something
okay.
like that. Or
Someone sneaked that in. I guess I did see a fan trailer then, because someone sneaked that into the fan trailer. I was like, that would have been too crazy.
That would have been too crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to
Too
you.
insane.
Fan trailers make me so mad when they're not labeled fan trailers.
Because sometimes they do a better job than the actual trailer. Sometimes, let's be honest.
Yeah, but then you share it with your friends and you feel like an idiot.
I've looked like an idiot. I've looked like an idiot doing that. I was like, "Oh my God, Surfer's real!" And they're like, "Oh, Lauren." And I have to break this down to you right now. It was so painful, so painful. I remember,
It was probably just as exciting as when you open those packs of Surfer, thinking that was a real Surfer card.
All right, so we're going to talk about the next thing. I'm so mad at you. I am so mad at you.
I'm
going
not
to
the one
find
who made
Greg.
those packs. I didn't make those packs.
Oh, poor guy. That poor Greg. I need to find Greg. That poor guy. I still don't know who it is, by the way. No idea. And I'm trying. Messaged a lot of people. I'm gonna figure this out.
You must have been sitting on those for a good minute for you not.
I was.
Right?
They kept. It was like super big. It was like it was the time I was moving over summer, so it was just like painful. I was like, don't lose anything.
All right, we've got to give some context. Me and Sketch Card.
Context.
That's right. On the YouTube one night, and he is opening packs. He decides to open. Was it 92? What was this?
I think it was 91. 91 MU.
And as he opens them up, they're like laden with Silver Surfer cards and characters surrounding Silver Surfer because that's his favorite character, and a preview card or what would they call it?
So it was a card that was cut to fit a comic cut in there and prototype. So basically, what people don't realize is that there were prototype cards for the early 90 cards that were only distributed. They weren't distributed. They were basically held inside the office, and there were a lot of ideas thrown around. In fact, a really cool thing a lot of people don't know is that in the 1990 set, they actually toyed with the idea of making them 3D. So you see a lot of guys who do the cutouts of the cards and they stack them, right? You've seen those 3D cards?
Oh, yeah.
That was a prototype idea from Impel back in the day, but they never went along with it because of packaging and yada yada yada. But they also did comic cuts to like mess around with, see how it would work. Well, basically, I opened the pack, I saw it, lost my mind. By the way, wasn't cool about it. Didn't like act like a G. I totally giggled and screamed like a schoolgirl. And of course, it wasn't real. It was a buddy of mine who repackaged it because he wanted to, because he does these things, and it wasn't even a prank. It was more like, hey man, I did this for you. It was like a sweet thing that he did. And a good friend of mine, whose name I can't remember because I am Norin and I don't remember anything very well. So I will find him and I will pull a wanted poster because I can't find him.
But it was hilarious. Whoever didn't get a chance to see that, I'd definitely go watch that because it sounded like
it was fun.
One or two things. He won the lottery, or he just announced like a gender reveal. You know what I mean? And he was like super excited about it.
Well, we have named this unknown friend Greg, and so we have.
I said it was Greg, and I was like, I don't think it's Greg, and now that's hashtag Greg for life.
Hashtag
so there you go.
Yeah.
Whoever it was, well played.
Well played, sir.
Whose channel was that one?
Both of their channels.
That was
you can find it on either.
Me or Sketch Card.
Yeah, you can find it on either one. I think that's where we broadcasted it too.
Yeah,
that was a crazy spontaneous.
Love it. Right, yeah. So going back to cards.
Cards.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here. So the trailer's released. It's coming out. What's the release date? December 17th,
I think, or
17th. Well, there's another thing coming out, hopefully earlier than December. We don't have an official date, but I wanted to talk about X-Men Metal.
Really, X-Men? Again?
No, sorry, Spiderman Metal.
I was going to say what?
Just checking, people are listening. No, Spiderman Metal. Spiderman Metal was shown. The sell sheets are out there. We don't have a full checklist, but we do know what all the inserts are.
Yeah.
So tell me, what are your thoughts?
Did they bring back the purely periodics by any chance?
Not on the checklist.
Okay. What did they replace that with? Did you guys see?
Z-Force.
The Z-Force ones there.
Ooh, that's
They went
interesting.
That
NBA
is
Z
interesting.
Force.
Yes, exactly.
And you got awesome rave, gold
Mm.
rave, super rave, and then you have a regular one.
Yeah, so that's the
That's
Planet Metal.
sex appeal.
You have planet metal as well, which is the gold, the aluminum.
No. To me, that is the replacement for Planet Metal. That's what
They
I'm
have
saying.
planet
They
metal
have
too.
Planet Metal too.
I know, right? So I just looked over the checklist. So this is
I didn't
crazy.
see that.
So I know. So basically, there is a sell sheet, and it's on.
So
I will find
blowout
it.
cards.
So the sell sheet, yeah, I'll find it for you guys. You guys can talk.
Is there any one of ones that anybody's heard of?
Yes,
Oh, yeah, purple.
the purples.
Oh, okay.
Spidey's getting it.
Yeah, so they definitely have the one of ones. It has PMGs, and they're going to stay with that true NBA style numbering of 1 through 10 and then 11 through 100. Do you know what the other parallels are going to be? They're going to have grandioses and golds, right? I believe so.
They're going to have
Nice.
grandioses, gold, and they're also adding a few as well. They're adding this, so they have pink. They're adding orange, and they're adding turquoise.
That's right. Orange and turquoise. Yeah.
Forgive me for this like newbie question. Have they purposely brought this out in terms of the movie, like in in parallel?
That would
with
be the
movie,
smart
or is
thing
it
to do.
Yeah, it's always weird accusing people of being smart because then they do dumb stuff and you're like,
Yeah, because what did the X-Men one align with? You know, there was no movie out for the X-Men.
nothing? That's what I mean. So
No.
this just happens to be like
Same thing
big
with
hype.
same thing with those packs that people been picking up at GameStop. That didn't line up with anything.
No.
and it's out of line because that was series 2. They skipped series 1 and their number sequence is off. It starts with 15. You don't have 1 through 14.
Yeah.
Yep.
But in fairness, you know, a lot of these things are based around some major release like the movie. And if that's delayed in its release, then other things get out of cycle.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Here we go.
Look at
So
this.
for those listening on the podcast, on the YouTube channel, we're going to be looking at the actual checklist.
Yeah, some of the artwork I already like a lot. I mean, for me personally, the only thing I feel a little bit down by is the same logo stuff. It seems like they took the same kind of look and design and just put the artwork over that same kind of artwork or the card design.
But the X-Men Metal logo is true to the 1995 set.
Right.
The big metal and the high series are both
Yeah.
true to the 95
The
set.
original, yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
Almost
I think it is
exactly.
good. I like the web on there. I think the web makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's also
it does look really
it's
cool.
also the same as PMGs, but with color.
Yeah, but just
Yes.
the PMGs, they don't stick out as much. You know, these stick
Oh,
out
I
like a
agree.
sore thumb.
I hear you. I really do.
Those are nice.
Oh, there is Planet Metal.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So
I have not
you
seen this.
Oh yeah, this is new. This was not released. This might have been released just a couple of days ago, not even. So
Thanks for
we
sharing,
got
by the way.
Oh, of course. I literally just saw this today, but I did. Woo. I will say this. So similar to Metal, you have a 100 card base set and you have a 100 card high series set. So very similar to Metal. You have Planet Metal, copper, platinum, gold, and aluminum. Aluminum is not numbered. Gold, copper, and platinum are numbered, and it looks like gold is actually numbered at 25 this time. Was
Instead
that
of 15,
the same?
it was 15. It's
Instead of
15 in
15,
X-Men.
yeah.
Instead of 15. So I think the reasoning, some of the numbering and there's might feel like there's more inserts in this set is because the crazy thing is that there are no buybacks.
Okay, no
Damn.
buybacks. And do you?
No
They're probably expecting to sell more as well.
Possibly. I mean, there is a higher price point. They are expecting to sell more, and there are inserts in here that are pretty high end. And you can see here, collect numbered parallels, including pink, orange, and turquoise.
Wow, is that
Which is crazy.
Is that a green Mysterio PMG?
Green Mysterio PMG.
That's
How
cool.
good does that look?
That
It
is
looks
cool.
sick. And
It
the
looks
green,
good.
I don't want to overreact to the red and green, but it looks good.
I think they made it a point to show that the colors were looking right. I'm not saying they fixed it, but I am saying from the surface, it looks like something has changed. I don't know at all. I don't even have a rumor of knowing.
I mean, and we also hope that the quality control is better overall, right? As far as whitening and dinged corners.
And Upper Deck was super aware. I can't say this for a fact. Upper Deck was super aware of it, upset by it, and definitely made it a point to say that they were not pleased with how those cards came out and have taken the proper measures to fix it for future sets. Did they do it in time for this? Who knows?
Well, I have a question. I know Elusive has some questions as well, and hopefully this isn't one of them. But what do you guys think is going to be the release price at the end? You know how the price tends to grow until it's ultimately released. What do you think it's going to be?
I would think it would match X-Men Metal and the trajectory of that.
It already,
if not more.
yeah. Yeah, I think it already exceeded that just because I believe Spidey Jew had mentioned that he was thinking it was going to open up at around 150 to the 180 range, and it already opened up at 240.
Yeah, basically 238 or something like that, but 240 basically.
And then you have distributors that are saying that's already sold out, so because of that, they have to keep raising the price. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it gets to the 350 to 400 range by the time it's actually released.
I think it will get there, but I think when it's physically released at card stores, when you go buy it, it's not going to pass 300. I don't think it will pass 250. And the reason I say that is because no box is 300 unless you're looking at Black Diamond. I don't even think Marvel Masterpieces 2020 was more than 300.
So how would you advise people who don't want to miss out, but also don't want to overpay?
Oh, so you're screwed. So everyone's screwed on this. Like, no, I'm not.
Forget about it.
Oh, no chance.
No, you're screwed. No, you are screwed. No, this is terrible. Like this is exactly why Upper Deck shouldn't be allowing David Adams, Steel City Collectibles, all these places to do this kind of crap, because what it's doing is they're saying, hey, pre-order at this price, but you know what I mean? Local card shops are going to price it based on the last pre-order from one of these places. I don't think they're going to price it from how they originally would price it, and that would be less than pre-orders. I don't know what universe where that happened. I hope it does, but I don't think. How can you? Yeah.
For those who may not know, there's not an MSRP. There's not a suggested retail price or a mandatory retail price from Upper Deck to these sellers, these retail sellers.
And there should be, because it's a shame. I mean, we all know what happened to Titan Cards. I mean, they were going through some trouble with their contracting, yet some of these bigger people could get away with doing this kind of things. I don't know, which in my opinion is worse than what they were doing. They were doing everything that they do is towards the community versus, I mean, I don't want to go off on a tangent. I just think it's unfair.
No, I mean, I think it's good that it's said. I think personally, with the way I collect, I'm doing one box and then I'm hunting for what I want. And either two things are going to happen here. I think one thing's going to happen here, and this is the truth. I think you're going to see a couple of dealers float to the top because they're going to buy everybody out. And then you're going to see cards being listed and everyone's going to try to recoup high, which means all the cards are going to cost high. I think it's going to be very little collectors getting this. And I think a lot of people are going to opt out on the physical and wait for the e-pack, because that will be a steady price with e-pack achievements. Do I think e-pack's going to be less than the pre-order? No. E-pack is usually just a tad bit more expensive, maybe more than a tad at times, just because of achievements and the convenience of trading online, which I kind of understand. But for me, I'm buying one box for me, and then I am hunting for whatever I want from that and just hoping I get lucky. And that's just me being like budget collector type of person. You know what I mean?
And I think to your point, I think X-Men Metal, as soon as it hits e-pack, that's going to establish the baseline of what we could expect as far as prices when this hits e-pack.
And and X-Men Metal should hit e-pack before this stuff is physically released.
Yep.
It will.
Maybe even before some of the other pre-orders, because we're thinking September for e-pack for X-Men release. Just there's no date, right? There's no date.
No, it's usually 4 months after release, physical release.
Yeah, so September-ish.
Worst case October, right?
Worst case scenario, October. So, and here's the tricky thing. X-Men Metal has already taken a hard dip because of quality control for a lot of collectors and the PMG problems. If Spider-Man fixed the PMG things, first one to unbox and see a PMG live, if they fixed it, this set's crazy.
Crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Serious heat.
I honestly think, man. I mean, and I'm sorry, I got a lot to chime in on this one, but someone like Norton, that we know he has skills just doing, regular artwork. I'm being very serious when I say this. If they would have just hired him just to do the design instead of that, sore thumb sticking out metal logo, I think that would drastically change the number of people that are going to buy this set. Just that, on top of the quality control issues that we mentioned already.
I think when it comes to sets like this, it's not so much the design that I always take issue with. I love what Upper Deck does. I really do. What I think I take issue with is when they reuse comic art that's been in previous sets. That for me is a no-no. I know it's not original art, but they have a very large library of images. There should not be having to be the same blindfold image from set to set. That's the only beef I really have with this. I think what's really going to sell this set, though, I don't know how you guys feel about that, but it's going to be that Z-Force, the Rogues Gallery. Like, there are some really top-end inserts here that we haven't seen before. That Rogues Gallery insert, which is numbered with villains from Spider-Man, those are acrylic. So those are thicker cards, similar to what is it called from the Fennel from Ages? The Lighthouse ones? Fennel, am I saying that right?
I don't know how
I'm
to
saying
say
it
right.
wrong. Yeah, basically it's an acrylic card. Oh, it's like the plexiglass from Spider-Man, Ultra Spider-Man 2017. It's going to be like
the
that
shattered
thickness.
glass.
Yes. Yeah, there you go.
I mean, and look, this is the last thing I'll want to say on this set. Like this for anybody that is not watching this on YouTube and is listening on Spotify or whatnot. We're looking at the checklist, but we're looking at a picture that shows some of the inserts. Those look awesome to me. I have no issue with those design because nothing's sticking out, awful on those. It's the regular base cards that I'm referring to. Yeah. And like you mentioned, the PMGs, because these look awesome.
Yeah, look,
they do look awesome.
Just everyone listening, if you happen to pull a platinum portrait Spider-Man, hit me up. I'm your guy.
I knew where that was going when he said that.
Just let me know. I love those platinum portraits.
Okay, so let's just say, is that the card of this set outside the
100%? 100%. I think that is the card even past the PMG, in my opinion.
Yeah. So tell me why you think that's the case.
So here's I'm sorry. I'm like 100. I feel bad. I'm like monopolizing the conversation.
Yeah.
So before I say that, real quick, the Palladiums, instead of being a full card acetate, they're actually back to being die cuts, similar to the Fleer Retro 2013 Ti 22s. Just so people know, that's pretty exciting. Platinum portraits are impossible to grab. They look so much better in person. The design is super new. This is the first time we're seeing them in a set. And I would argue they're the harder pull. There's probably maybe 20 or 30 of each of them. I'm guessing. I might be wrong in that, Spidey. I don't remember.
I don't either.
So
it's
they're
low.
not.
I know that.
It's low. It's stupid low.
So jambalaya numbers.
See, that's where I'm at. It's jambalaya numbers. And here's the trick. X-Men Metal, and this, I'm going to say this because I want a Gambit one, but I know it's not going to happen because I don't want to pay the money. But I will say that the cards to pull from X-Men Metal is not the PMGs. It's the Platinum Portraits.
No doubt.
100%, in my opinion.
And the purely periodics.
And the purely periodics.
Well, and the Platinum Portrait still has that legacy from NBA sports cards. They also have Platinum Portraits.
That's a big factor.
Big factor. I think the Z-Force will have some of that weight too, by the way, for this.
I was surprised at how charged up I was when I saw that because I had Z-Force basketball cards growing up.
Yeah. That's how I felt.
Yeah. And I was like, I know Z-Force already. There was already that familiarity with it.
Yeah. I will say there is something special in here that I don't know if a lot of us have put this in perspective yet. Spidey's going to freak out unless he already knows this. I haven't seen the video yet that Spidey put out, so I might be talking out of my bum. But here we go. They are doing comic cuts again.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's something really special here. They have comic cuts, but they're doing one of the comic cuts they have. I don't know what the edition size is. It's Amazing Fantasy 15.
That's it. It is Amazing Fantasy 15. Yeah,
that's incredible.
It's insane. That book just sold for over $2 million, or they're still being auctioning at a price of over $2 million. And we're going to have the ability to pull a comic cut out of that book.
And the design is gorgeous. I mean, Amazing Fantasy 15 at the top. The rest of the card is pretty much red with the webbing, and it's a white border around the panel. Now, the panel is a longer rectangle. It's not wide. It's not a dumb square. It's tall, like a portrait painting. It is beautiful for these.
So you're
panels.
getting more comic.
You're
Yeah.
getting more comic.
It reminds me of the Pieces of Flair.
Oh,
Same
I'm telling
design.
you, for me, other than the Platinum Portrait, and I would even argue that this comic cut, the Amazing Fantasy 15, that's a grail. I'm going to say it right here, right now. I'm going to go after one of those.
Completely agree.
Grail.
You think it's
Grail.
gonna be? You think it's gonna be numbered out of 10?
I have no idea. Honestly, the number, I really hope it's 30. So everyone gets to have a piece of that grail. And I'm not trying to hype this up. Listen, everybody, I am not a hype guy. I know I sound excited. It's just because I actually really am excited, but I'm not hyping this for anybody. I really would prefer if everybody thought this was crap and I could buy for myself. But what I'm saying right now, right here, is that the Amazing Fantasy 15 with the comic book panel inside, this is what I've been waiting for, because this is a genuine, true insert for Marvel cards. It's not a sports copy. It's not anything like that. It is a genuine, honest to Marvel cards insert.
That's a good point.
Special. Very
Massive.
special.
So with that said, if anybody pulls that, hit up sketch card.
Well, I was
No,
asking-
hit up
I was gonna-
Spidey G,
I was gonna
and I'll
say-
get the second one. Spidey. We go in pecking order on this in this pack
Yeah.
fresh. Okay, it's Spidey Jew for Spidey stuff, and then Gingy Man, Elusive, and
The
I
rest
just
of them, man.
Well, you got
welcome
Surfer.
to the Thunderdome. Okay,
We get the
That's all I
Snickle
gotta
Fritz,
say.
huh?
Elusive is
The Snickle Fritz.
Wolverine. Yeah, Wolverine.
That's right, and then
Gingy's
we go
store,
down.
right?
Gingy's right there.
Well, hey, this is a perfect time to tie this in, guys. We got some questions, and we haven't done any Q&As recently, but here's a good question that everybody's asking me, and it has to be different for sketch card than for the rest of us, and you'll see why. You'll understand. But the question is, if you guys had to start your collection all over from scratch today, what would you do different? But one of the things that you have to do different is, for example, sketch card, and we'll start with him. He's a character collector. Now you have to pick something else. You can't be a character collector. So what would you do in your case? And same thing with Spidey. You can't choose Spider-Man. What would you do? And then me and Gingy aren't character collectors. So our question would be, if we had to be character collectors, who would we pick?
Ooh, this is good. I love the questions for this show. I find them so fun. Okay, so if I had to pick another character or not be a character collector, which is what you're saying, what kind of collector would I be? Honestly, if I did it all over again, see, the tricky thing is, like, when did I start doing it all over again? Because if I had to start all over again where I've started with a Surfer, the market was different. When I started collecting these on a serious level, like I am now, I didn't have access to any sketch cards. I had to beg knee pads. I had to do favors that I'm not very happy about. There are things I had to do just to get a nice sketch card. It was it taken me a long time to get where I am with my sketch cards, because there's so many are hidden. But if I had to start over, I'd probably money wise, I probably would have just gone straight to a set that had a lot of different variety of inserts, and it probably would have been Flair Retro. Not because I know it's expensive now, but because when I first started, the boxes and the inserts were still expensive, but you could find them and enjoy a box. I'd probably enjoy opening boxes a little bit more if I started over and see the variety in hand rather than having to fight in auctions and all this stuff, and never getting to experience certain boxes. I think I would have been more of opening boxes, I think.
Okay. And what about you, Justin?
Yeah, so from a character standpoint, it's pretty easy, and it's going to sound lazy, but if I was not collecting Spidey, I'd be collecting Wolverine. He's in a lot of ways, tied for first favorite from an overall comic character standpoint.
Wow.
I'm a big fan of Wolverine. But a more complex response would be, I would probably want to learn Marvel trading cards at a better level. And let me give you an example. I picked up the guitar late in life, when I was about 30. And what I did first was actually learn about the mechanics of the guitar, the names of the pieces and components of it before I ever actually started strumming the strings. And I really wish I'd have done that with Marvel trading cards, like really took the time to get to know just the game of Marvel trading cards, the sets, and the way in which people value them. Instead of kind of just trying to grab a lot at once and pull it in, at that point, after having that education, been more like focused intentionalness instead of a stack of cards.
I love that.
That's a great answer. Yeah.
That's a good answer.
And Nick, what would you do if you had to be a character collector?
So some of you may know this, and some of you may not. But I would collect Magneto if
I love
if I
that.
had the choice. Yeah,
That's a cool idea.
like so a couple of reasons why. The movies for me, I thought were awesome. I love Magneto. I thought he was, just great, just so cool. That's such a good villain. I'm a nice guy, but I like a villain.
I want that on a t-shirt so bad, Gingy. I'm a nice guy, but I like a villain.
I'm a bad boy, really. No, Number two would be purely for the look of cards. Like for me, and it's near enough every set, a Magneto card just looks so sick. So sick. Whether it's the purples, the blues, like the coloring of his character, or I think about his helmet as well. It's a big factor for me. So it's purely aesthetics for that reason. But much to Justin's point, Spidey's point is about if I was going to start again, I would really, really, really love to have known all the sets, what are the pack ratios, what are the rare cards, and have a solid foundation of knowledge before I went head first into collecting cards. So yeah, definitely agree with that point.
Nice. And for me, I think Norrin might know this, and some people don't. But if I had to be a character collector, I'd be collecting either Surfer or Gambit.
Yeah,
two great choices.
Gambit. Wow,
Yeah.
Great characters, man.
Yeah, if we started from scratch, and we were on a equal playing field.
Even playing field. I love it.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's what it would be. Here's another one for us, guys. So that was a good one. One more. What are our favorite 3 artists? And it has nothing to do with sketch cards, only in regards to trading card artwork. So no sketch cards. We'll start with Norrin again, just to
come on.
This is a tough question.
Yeah, you know this more than us. So
this is horse.
You've been in the game longer.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
You know more artists than me.
Yeah, that was actually funny. So when I first collected Surfer, I did a lot of APs. And I know it's not sketch card artists, but like that was a lot of my education is learning APs. And I wish, and trust me, there are people working on this, including me and everybody else here, to have knowledge available for everyone to understand all the sets, pack ratios. Like we're trying desperately to educate everyone on this hobby, because I think it's important to educate everyone on this hobby, because A, it'll be less frustrating for people. B, people won't get themselves into financial debt or anything. We can help out and be kind. And I think it's always good to have a community rather than, a bunch of people trying to pull one over each other. For me, one of my favorite artists is Simone Bianchi. Like, I just can't tell you how much of a fan I am of him. Like it's just, I really am. I love his work. I appreciate what he does, and I like his style. It's very much in my wheelhouse of like sketchy, dark, unique. It feels like I've stepped into his world to see the superheroes. And for me, that always makes a big difference. You know what I mean? Like Todd McFarlane, when you go into his world, you're seeing the superheroes from his perspective. I love that. Like Peach Momoko, when you go into her world, you see these characters. I like artists who do that quite a bit. So he's a huge one for me. We had to do 3. Was that what you said?
Yeah, 3.
Okay, so the other ones would be that have done cards. So I'll do the biggie. I think Julie Bell's Surfer is one of my favorites. I love Boris's too, but Julie Bell's from 1993 Marvel Masterpieces. That was a great card. I just love that card so much. I just really appreciate her work and what she does with her characters. The other one, yeah, this is tough. Yeah, it's weird because on Marvel cards, there are a lot of artists who have done Marvel cards that are not Marvel card artists, also comic book artists.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my favorite artists is Ron Lim, because that was my first Silver Surfer was with Ron Lim. And he introduced me to the Surfer. Like that's the first thing I think of when I think Surfer. I think of Ron Lim's Surfer. And he did the 1992 Marvel Universe, and he also did the 1994 Marvel Universe, I think, too. The puzzle ones, like the 9-page puzzle ones. I think that's 94 or 93. So yeah, I think those are my 3.
Nice.
Yeah.
How about you, Spidey?
Well, I'm not as familiar, so it's a pretty tough question for me. But Palumbo for 90, he did 92, right?
No,
Palumbo,
not Palumbo. Not Palumbo. Who am I thinking of? Juiceco. I'm sorry.
Juiceco.
Yeah, Juiceco 16 and 92.
Mm-hmm.
Probably my favorite.
It's a great one.
And I'm only just now becoming familiar with the 2016. I opened up a box recently, and that was the first time I've ever held those cards in hand, with one exception of one single. From there, I really like Boris's Rogue on the double impact.
Oh, gorgeous.
Pulled that card, but not just because I pulled it, but it's just an unusual, like for the concept of the card, the structure, the structure of Rogue's body and kind of this full portrait. And it's got this sci-fi scene kind of buildings in the background, which who would do that? That's nothing about that's X-Men, but it works. And so I really enjoyed that. And I'm not going to think of a third because I don't even know that. I mean, I know of other artists, but they're not like, I'd be just saying their name to say them. But Todd McFarlane is my top artist of all time. But he hasn't done Todd McFarlane cards, but not he hasn't done art for a card. So
no, that counts. You're good. It's on a trading card.
That counts. That super counts. Yeah, he's
well. Then I
more
misunderstood the question.
No, you're good.
No.
You still aced
part
it.
of cards. Yeah, he's more part of cards than people realize. Even Jim Lee has art featured on cards. I mean, like it's like we've said, the well is deep. The well is deep.
Right.
How about you, Gingy?
So yeah, mine would be same as Spidey. So Joe Jusko, purely because the 92 Marvel Masterpiece is my first
great set.
My first ever set I collected, so it has to be that. I actually agree with Norin on Bianchi. Some of those cards are just insane. Especially like the modern, the 16 Marvel Masterpieces. Oh, I just think some of the artwork looks great. And then Mark Bagley, if that counts, some of the Spider-Man cards I think look pretty sick in my opinion. So yeah, again, in terms of artists, I can't give you lots of detail like Norin can, but yeah, there's some of my favorites for sure.
Nice. Yeah, for me, I'm going to go no particular order in general as well. So I'm going to say Patelis, Dimitris, right? I'm going to go with Jusko, and I'm going to go with Bob Larkin.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Killer choices.
Yeah.
Killer choices.
And here's the last one for us, guys. As far as artwork, which set do you guys enjoy more? 95 Marvel Masterpieces or 96?
Jesus. Is this coming from you? This is definitely
No, you know who it comes from? If you guys, I'll shout them out. Shout out Stacking Gems.
I love it. It.
I'll take the first answer. For me, it's easy 95. I think 96 is great, and I know that's most people's favorite. But again, artwork-wise, for me, my favorite from 96 is a no-brainer. It's a double impact surfer card. But as far as I feel like I would pick more from the 95 than I would from the 96.
Gingy.
Sorry, Gingy.
I don't know, man. I have to say, most recently, 95 is very appealing to me. And, Elusive, we talked about the emotion cards, and I just think they really, really do pop a little bit more than 96. But having said that, yeah, you've got the double impact cards, which I think are just so clever and so just like if you're a non-card collector or like non-Marvel card collector, you're like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yes.
So yeah, short and sweet answer, but I think 95.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, it really doesn't matter what we think because the answer is 96. But in fairness, you have what, 3 artists instead of 2 in 95? Sorry, sketch cards losing.
Doesn't matter what we think. It's 96.
It's 96. But if I was flipping through a binder, I would spend more time looking at 95. So if I'm answering it that way,
Yes,
it's 95.
Come on, big dog.
Yeah, just pretend that Boris and Julie aren't listening.
Yeah. I guess. Wow. What would I say? Okay. So honestly, and I'm going to say it like this: 95 is like a buffet, right? You go in. You don't have to you don't have to say I want Mexican, I want Chinese. You don't have to make any decisions. It's all there for you, baby. You just have to roll your scooter back and forward on this buffet line. I have dreams when I get older.
Did you say scooter?
Yeah, why scooter?
I'm going to be on a scooter in a buffet. You're going to see my old ass. I'm just going to be rolling around, having a good time.
This guy's at the Piccadilly.
Laugh. I have dreams. Okay, don't make fun of my dreams. Don't put me in a box. But I think for me though, I look at 96 and I see 96 as like a meal, right? It's there. They give it to you. So you take your time with it. You soak it in. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about 96 a little bit more. Only because what attracts me in 96 is the amount of card space you have. You know what I mean? It feels like real estate wise, you get to experience the whole piece. Do I think 95 is... I think the problem is a lot of people put 96 above 95. I think they're on equal ground because on rarity, on collectability. I mean, putting a set together of 95 is far harder than putting a set together for 96. That's just a fact. I know most people have a harder time putting together the emotion set than they do the 96 set. That's just true.
Why for newer collectors?
Well, I'll chime in on this because Stacking Gems gave me some great stats, and he's a great numbers guy. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but every time he posts, for example, a jambalaya, he not only gives you the pack odds, he gives you the character odds of hitting that jambalaya. So you guys have to remember on these emotions, each character has 3 different artworks for their emotion. So for you to pick up a specific one, I mean, he told me the odds, and I don't want to butcher them, but they're ridiculous odds for you to complete and get 3 emotions for each character. It's pretty bad. I mean, yeah, that's what I've always heard too, right? It's always been, I know a lot of people with emotions always has a hard time with, yeah, for sure. And to your point, Gingy, as well, like you were talking about the inserts, yeah, 100% double impacts are gorgeous. The gold galleries are decent, but you forget about on the 95, not only you got the emotions, you got the canvas cards, and more importantly, you have the hollow flashes. And the Mirage, the 2 Mirage cards, which are like the pack odds
always been expensive.
Out of 360 packs to hit
Mirage
one.
is
Always
really
been
nice.
expensive.
Yeah.
Those have always been expensive. Those are always on like the top 10 list.
I can't wait to see, just for my info, I'm not going to go for one, but I can't wait to see what a Mirage, when it hits the first PSA 10, what that sells for.
I don't think it ever will. I don't think Mirage can ever grade a 10.
Maybe like a 9.5 in BGS.
It depends, right?
Yeah.
Has the better chance because you can lose a little bit on that surface and make it up through corners.
Yeah.
But I agree with you, man. That's going to be insane. So let's kind of like, we're going to start wrapping it up here a little bit. We're going to, that's what.
Here we go.
Here we go. All right. So Elusive the Man, and the Man Elusive is going to actually do an unpacking of a pack. Unpacking of a pack or unboxing of a pack?
Yeah, it's a booster.
He's ripping a pack.
Yeah, it actually has two packs inside, by the way, guys.
Oh, well, this is an unboxing. That makes us an unboxing, right?
Unboxing!
Yeah, so I'm doing this for Stacking Gems. Again, just shout out to him. He dared me to open one on live because I bought 2 of these. One was in mint condition, which I'm not touching, and this one's all beat up. I'm gonna touch this, right?
Yeah, touch it.
Heads up, I'm looking to pull a Spider-Man foil. I yet to have the Spider-Man foil.
Yeah,
Right?
you're getting me a Magneto foil. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. I like that.
I hope you pull two of them.
Calling dibs.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
yeah, 2 different artworks. You got the Wolverine artwork and the Hulk
These are
artwork.
so underrated, by the way. I don't know what it is, man. They look better and better to me over time.
So
Okay,
do you
so for
think-
those who
go on,
I was
Justin.
gonna say, just for those who are listening, not watching, we'll let you know what we see.
Yes.
Do you think the whole Tops thing, Fanatics thing, do you think there's an impact in that first Tops 2001 Marvel Legends set? Because I do, personally, I
Yeah.
do. I do think people will go, oh, what's the first card set that Tops made for Marvel?
The one and
And we'll
only.
jump to that.
Yeah.
But
I think,
super interesting.
I think they'll jump. Look, the 2001, funny enough, the 2001 top set is more important to sketch card collectors than people realize because of the way you collect sketch cards. So there are people out there who complete sets, who complete the sketch card set. And Topps Marvel Legends was actually arranged in a way where there was a tier system for sketches. So it's quite difficult to get. It's one of the most difficult sketch card chases. The very first Topps Marvel cards are the 1976, 1978 stickers.
Yeah,
But
sorry.
card cards, no, don't apologize because you're right. The card stuff,
Mhm.
2001 Marvel Legends, 100%.
There you go, guys.
Wow, look at that storm.
We got a beautiful storm.
Beautiful storm.
Ooh, Black Bolt.
Black ball, baby.
That's sketch card, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
Black Widow.
Like we're doing nice.
Wow.
Looking good. Have y'all seen what if for this?
They all
one?
look like foils.
Oh,
no.
Oh,
Nick
Who is that?
Fury.
wow.
Nick Fury foil.
Nice
They're
artwork.
not sticking to each other.
No, they
That's
were
good
perfect.
news.
Honestly, they were in really good condition.
So 4 cards a pack.
Yeah, 4 cards a pack, 3 in a foil. And by the way, for people that don't know, the box doesn't contain the foil packs. The box can go ahead.
No, that's just like the Marvel Legends cards that were just released at GameStop. It was
Yeah.
4, and the 4th one was a foil.
Was the
card.
foil? Yeah, and yeah, because Turkey. Shout out to Turkey Birdies as well. He hit me up when I bought the box. Yeah, and I told him the box doesn't contain the foils. It contains the sketch card to sketch cards point, but it doesn't contain the foil. So only the retail packs have foil cards in
That's
them.
interesting. I did not know that.
Forgot about
Yeah.
that.
I did
That's why
not
it's
know that.
so tough. I forgot.
But now, what the box does have is the secret identity stickers as well
Yeah,
that people want.
and costume change, yeah?
And the costume change,
Yeah.
correct.
Damn, I forgot that the foils were only retail packs.
Just so I didn't buy a box, wasn't it?
Yeah, so you have to pick up the packs. If you see on eBay personally, I would go for them. Especially the ones I've been picking up. For anybody that's interested in knowing, I don't mind sharing. They're only $20 a pack. If you could get a hold of any, I think that's super affordable.
And they're not sticking.
And they're not sticking. Yeah,
Yeah.
Here it goes.
That's pretty good news.
Let's do it.
Oh,
Mole Man.
Molly,
Mole
molly,
Man.
molly.
Molly, 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 mo.
Mephisto.
Oh, Mephisto.
Nice.
That's timely for the Spider-Man
Yeah,
trailer.
very.
Not saying that's Mephisto, but wink, wink.
Oh,
Dr.
I'm
Octopus.
done.
Ah,
Talk about
perfect.
timely.
Talk
Doc
about
Ock.
timely. All right, Spidey. Come on, pull the Spider-Man. Pull it.
The
Oh,
Hulk.
nice. I don't have that one.
The Hulk. And he's
Oh,
great.
wow.
Have
Pink
you got your
pants.
penny sleeves?
Yeah. So
Oh,
bullseye.
Bullseye.
Oh, shout out Graded
Bullseye.
Gamer, huh?
Graded gamer. She might
She
want
doesn't
that.
have it.
She's gonna hit
and
you
it's-
up.
Beautiful.
It's clean.
Oh, it's
Sharp corners.
great condition. Yeah, sharp
Pretty
corners.
good.
Yeah, well, there you go. Stacking gems. You dared me, and I did it.
Thank you, Stacking
Luce's
Gems.
street cred just went up.
Yeah.
Years. I love it.
Yeah,
Right.
guys.
I think that concludes another episode. And
That concludes another
yeah.
episode, baby.
thank you for joining us for another Marvel's Pack Fresh episode. I hope we've had good fun. We certainly have. Please do like, subscribe, all that good stuff down below. And peace out from us.
Later,
Peace.
everybody.
Have a marvelous day.